Most people think turning $100 into $1 million is about finding the perfect strategy, the perfect indicator, the perfect entry, the perfect setup. But here's what nobody tells you. The strategy is maybe 20% of the equation. The other 80% is what's happening inside your head. And I'm not talking about motivation. I'm not talking about mindset posters on your wall. I'm talking about a very specific, very rare way of thinking that the most successful traders quietly carry with them every single day. If you've ever blown an account, felt your stomach drop after a bad trade, or found yourself staring at a chart at 2 and wondering if this is even worth it, then this video was made for you. Let's get into it. The first thing you have to understand is this. Most traders walk into the market carrying a hidden belief they're not even aware of. The belief that they need to make money fast. To prove something, maybe to their family, maybe to their boss, maybe just to themselves, and that belief, that quiet desperation, is the single biggest reason most accounts go to zero. Because when you need to win, you stop thinking clearly. A 2019 study from the University of Cambridge found that traders under financial stress showed measurably reduced activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for rational decision-making. In plain English, desperation literally makes you dumber. The traders who survive and eventually thrive, they replace desperation with something completely different. They replace it with what I call the builder's mindset. They don't see their $100 as a ticket to quick riches. They see it as a construction site. Every disciplined trade, every rule followed, every loss absorbed without revenge, is a brick, and bricks laid consistently over time build something that can't be taken down. Now let's talk about something that changed the way I understand patience. Most traders think patience means waiting for a trade to set up. But the deeper version of patience, the one that actually separates the pros from everyone else, is the patience to do nothing, even when everything inside you is screaming to act. Think about that for a second. Your brain is wired for action. Every candlestick moving on that chart is a stimulus. Every green candle whispers, "Get in, you're missing it." Every red candle growls, "Short it now." The market is a machine designed to exploit your nervous system, and if you don't know that, you'll always be the one being exploited. There's a well-documented psychological trap called action bias. Research from Tel Aviv University showed that goalkeepers in penalty shootouts dive to one side approximately 94% of the time, even though staying in the center statistically gives them a better chance of stopping the ball. They dive because standing still feels wrong, even when standing still is the smarter move. Traders do the same thing. They enter trades not because the setup is right, but because not entering feels unbearable. The secret is to make inaction feel like a victory. When you skip a bad setup, that's not a missed opportunity, that's capital protected, that's a win. Here's the part most people skip over, and it might be the most important thing I say today. You can have perfect discipline, you can have ruthless patience, but if your identity is wrapped around every trade, you're still going to break. I've seen traders with 65% win rates lose everything, not because their strategy failed, but because the moment a trade went against them, it didn't just feel like a loss, it felt like proof they were a failure. And that emotional weight, that's what causes revenge trading. That's what causes doubling down. That's what turns a bad week into a blown account. The shift you need is this. You are not your trades. A loss is not a judgment on your intelligence, your worth, or your future. It is a data point. One grain of sand on an infinite beach. Think about a surgeon. A surgeon doesn't cry after every difficult case. They review, they learn, they improve. And they walk back into the operating room tomorrow with a clear head. That's exactly the relationship you need with your trades. Process first, outcome second. And when you genuinely internalize that, something shifts, the anxiety drops, the revenge trading stops, and paradoxically, your results start to improve because now you're trading the market, not your emotions. Let's go a layer deeper now, because beyond discipline, beyond patience, beyond emotional detachment, there's something even more foundational, something I rarely hear anyone talk about in the trading world, and that is this: the ability to see yourself clearly, not the version of yourself you want to be, not the version you tell yourself in the mirror, the real you, in real time, while you're sitting at that desk staring at that screen. Are you trading to make money? Or are you trading to feel something? Are you following your system? Or are you following your mood? Are you being honest about your edge? Or are you hoping the market confirms what you already want to believe? This is what ancient philosophers called know thyself, and modern behavioral economists call it metacognition, the ability to observe your own thinking while it's happening. Studies show that traders who regularly journal their emotional state before, during, and after trades show significantly better long-term performance than those who only track price action. Not because journaling is magic, but because it forces you to see the gap between what you think you're doing and what you're actually doing. The market doesn't lie to you. Your mind does. And until you can sit quietly, watch your own thoughts without being swept away by them, you're not fully in control of your trading. Start small. Before each session, ask yourself 3 honest questions. Am I mentally clear right now? Am I trading because my system says so? Or because I feel like trading? If this trade loses, will I stay calm? Or will I spiral? The answers will tell you more than any indicator ever could. Now let me bring this all together with one final idea: the traders who make it, who genuinely build something real from a small account, they all share one invisible trait. They stopped trying to conquer the market and started trying to understand themselves. They realized that every blown account, every revenge trade, every sleepless night was not the market's fault. It was information. It was the market handing them a mirror. And the moment you start treating losses as mirrors instead of monsters, everything changes. Your $100 account is not small. It is a testing ground. It is a dojo. Every trade you take is a rep. Every rule you follow builds a new neural pathway. Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you are literally rewiring your brain. Science backs this up. Research in neuroplasticity from Stanford shows that consistent, deliberate practice changes the structure of the brain's decision-making centers. Even in adults over 40, you are not stuck. You are building. At 5% weekly growth, $100 becomes over $10,000 in less than 5 years. But more importantly, the trader who can grow $100 consistently can grow $10,000 the same way. And then $100,000, the numbers change. The mindset stays the same. So here's what I want to leave you with today. The secret mindset isn't a trick. It isn't a shortcut. It's a choice you make every single day, to build instead of gamble, to wait instead of chase, to see yourself clearly instead of seeing what you want to see, because the market is a mirror. And the clearest picture it will ever show you is who you really are under pressure. Master yourself first. The $1,000,000 will follow if this hit differently for you. If something clicked, drop a comment below and tell me which part landed the most. I read every single one, and if you're serious about trading psychology, make sure you subscribe, because what's coming next goes even deeper.